Om Astoma Sadgamaya Kanasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from ignorance to knowledge. Lead us, O Lord, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear Swami Nikhileswarananda, the members of Ramakrishna Center of South Africa, as well as the center here in Ladysmith, the dignitaries present here, sisters and brothers, dear friends, I am very happy to be here this afternoon. I have been for a tour of South Africa, as you know. I came here about a week back, and now, day after tomorrow, I am going back to India after visiting Mauritius for a couple of days. The days have gone so quickly. A few days back, I was preparing for coming to South Africa, and now is the time for preparing myself to leave South Africa. It was a very good, pleasant experience to meet all the people, very nice devotees here in South Africa, and very nice people. A great revolution coming in the country of South Africa after the new regime. A lot of changes are taking place, and very enlightened audience here. I'm very happy to meet you all in this town of Ladysmith. When first I read the name, I thought it is the name of a person. Maybe she will be the chief guest inaugurating the function. But later on I heard, no, that is the name of the city, Ladysmith. Today's subject, as you know, management of everyday life. The most important thing that we have to bear in mind is the name management. Somehow or the other, from last few years, it has become a sort of a misnomer. Management has come to mean, for all of us, more or less, business management. Whenever we talk of management, we say business management. But actually speaking, management is a very broad-based term. It affects every aspect of life, not only the business. That is why in the latest book of Peter Drucker, the latest book is The Best of Peter Drucker, he points out that from last 60 years, we have been misusing this name, management. When it started, management meant a very broad term, an organized common sense, the science of working in any aspect of life which would give us the best of output with the minimum of input and resources in the best possible manner, with the best quality, in the minimum possible time. But over a period of years, somehow, management has come to mean business management, which is not true. Just as orthopedics is not medicine, it is only a branch of medicine. So number one, we have to remember, management is a very broad-based term which affects every aspect of life. And every one of us, whether we are in the corporate world, whether we are in the professional world, whether we are working in the office, whether we are teachers, whether we are students, whether housewives, each and every human being has to learn the management of everyday life because it affects every aspect of life. And there are various spheres in which this management wisdom can be applied. The fifth M is becoming very important in the field of management. Normally, in the field of management, they say management means management of 4 M. What are they? Management of money, financial management, management of materials management, management of machines, production planning and control, management of man, that is personal management. These are the 4 M's normally management is supposed to be linked to. But now the 5th M is becoming very important, and that is the management of mind. There was a photograph in the Time magazine some time back, in the cover page of Time magazine, and the photograph showed 2 brains, 2 halves of 2 brains, and then the cover story was written, America in the mind of Japan in the mind of America. And they say that Japan has gone on economic front, and right on America's soil, there were 700,000 Americans working in Japanese industries. But then, after some time, the Ministry of Health of Japan brought out these statistics for the first time. 42% of the executives and employers of 44 years and above in Japan are suffering from mental disorder, and 100 new mental hospitals opening on an emergency system. They have won on economic front financially with TQM, Total Quality Management, and now TQP, Total Quality Personnel, but lot of executives ending up in mental hospital with a lot of stress. So now they are searching for the 5th M, management of mind, which will give them not only productivity, which will not only give them success, which will not only give them prosperity, but will also give them peace of mind. And now in Japan, they are recognizing the great value of Master Shida. Master Shida, the chairman of Master Shida Electric Company, many years back had warned Japan that we will have to follow the spiritual path in the corporate sector also if we want to have peace of mind along with prosperity. And so he started an institute called PHP and a journal called PHP. What is PHP? P, prosperity. Prosperity is a must if you want to enjoy life. Second, along with that, we must health, both physical and mental. If you don't have physical health, how do you enjoy? You have a lot of funds, but the doctor says you can't take food except taking tranquilizers and antibiotics and injections. What is the use of a lot of funds? Or we may have the best model car, but the doctor says, no, you have a heart problem, you can't ride a car. In mental hospital, if you have a mental problem, you are in a mental hospital, of what use is your great bank deposit in the Swiss bank? So, health, physical and mental. And third, P, peace of mind. It is the most important thing. Peace of mind. Without peace of mind, all this will be of no avail. So PHP, he started an institute called PHP and a journal called PHP, Master Shida, and he wrote a book, the name of the book, Not for Bread Alone. That is the sentence from Bible. A man cannot live by bread alone. Man cannot live without bread, that is true. But man cannot live by bread alone. A dog can live by bread alone. A donkey can live by bread alone. But a human being cannot live by bread alone. He needs little butter also along with bread. And not only butter, he also wants clothes and he wants to have a house. Not only that, he wants something else, that is peace of mind, which is a very rare commodity nowadays. And so, this wisdom is dawning, and the 5th M is becoming important. According to Chicago-based Research Corporation, 40% of the companies in America are having regular courses on stress management. Stress management is becoming very important for true success and fulfillment of life. Another thing that is coming, the fourth wave of management is slowly sweeping the world. The first wave in the field of management was the British style of management, when work study, work measurement, tailors was work measurement were involved. Second was the wave of American style of management when Peter Drucker became the guru. Third wave was Japanese style of management when TQM, total quality management, zero defect, and the extreme productivity coupled with the extreme efficiency and perfection became the demand of the hour. And now, slowly, the fourth wave has started coming to the world, and that is holistic style of management based on Vedanta philosophy, based on Indian philosophy. A spiritual based management is coming, and various books are coming out, new books are coming out, where they now regard that spirituality is at the core of management of anything, whether it's a corporate sector, whether it's at home, whether it's the management of an educational institution, or whether it's management of life. This fourth wave is slowly coming up. The name of some of the books are God is my CEO. That is the name of the book. God is my CEO, Chief Executive Officer. God is my CEO. And in America, Richard Barnett is becoming very popular management consultant. He is a management consultant based on spiritual type of management. He has written a book, Liberating the Corporate Self. And he has started as a business, as an advisor based on spirituality. And who are the clients? Swiss government, World Bank, they are the clients. In Japan, Buddhist style of management, they are the big signboards, Buddhist style of management will be given here. Vedantic style of management is very popular now, not only in India, but the wave is coming in America. Ford, Boeing, and many other companies are now adopting the Vedantic style of management. The holistic style of management is coming into vogue. That is why M.R. Thyssen, the management consultant of Amsterdam, Netherlands, very nicely puts it. If we must have a paradigm shift in our approach towards management. We must have a holistic paradigm. And if we do not have this holistic paradigm, then we will have paradigm paralysis. If this holistic paradigm is not taken into account in our everyday management field, or even in the corporate sector, value-based management is becoming important. Norman Vincent Peale and Kenneth Blanchard, the great management consultant and the management author of many books, they have brought out a book, The Power of Ethical Management. And in the front page it is written, you need not cheat in order to win. And inside the story it is written, to work for only profit is like playing tennis with your eyes towards the scoreboard rather than on the ball. To work only for profit is like playing tennis with your eyes towards the scoreboard rather than on the ball. What happens? So, the holistic paradigm is coming. The spiritual based management is coming in the forefront, everywhere, in all countries. Aspen Institute of Management conducted its international seminar. This is a training institute training the CEOs of most of the multinational companies of the world. They had an international seminar in which very important CEOs of most of the companies of the world were present. They were shown Attenborough's film of Mahatma Gandhi, and after the discussion, they found out 40 great qualities in the life of Mahatma Gandhi which could become a teaching model for most of the executives and managers. Servant leadership is a new word that is required. Robert Greenleaf, as you know, he has found out that new concept of servant leadership. He has written a book on servant leadership and it is becoming a popular concept. But this servant leadership was being practiced by many eminent personalities in India much earlier. Of course, the first one was Sri Krishna, becoming a charioteer, a servant of Arjuna, though he was a kingmaker. In our own times, Swami Vivekananda practiced it. He started Ramakrishna mission in 1897 after returning from the America and Western countries to India for worshipping of the divine in human beings, various service activities. He started Ramakrishna mission in 1897, but he gave the name of the organization as Ramakrishna Mission. It was not on his own name. Not only that, he did not take any power and position. He said, I am just a servant of my brother disciples. Whatever money he could collect from America, he handed it over to his brother disciple Swami Brahmananda, and made Swami Brahmananda the first president of Ramakrishna Mission. He himself did not take any power or position. He practiced servant leadership. Mahatma Gandhi, he also practiced the servant leadership. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the President of India, came to Porbandar. As you know, I am from Porbandar, the birthplace of Mahatma Gandhi. He came to Porbandar to inaugurate one of the school buildings constructed by us as part of earthquake rehabilitation project. We have constructed 81 school buildings and 6 colonies, 390 houses, and some other infrastructure at the cost of 200 millions of rupees. It is a part of earthquake rehabilitation project. So he came to inaugurate one of the school buildings. There were 3,000 youths, gave a very nice speech, an inspiring speech. And then he was asked this question by the students. The students love him very much. The students asked him the question, Sir, what is the source of your inspiration? Then he said, normally I do not leak out this secret, but this is the right place to leak out this secret. Then he said, I was a student of 8th standard and I was the monitor of my school. My headmaster called me and said, tonight you have to bring all the students to the school because they have to listen to the running commentary. 14th August 1947, India shall become independent, midnight, and you have to listen to the running commentary. So he said, I brought all the children to the school, we listened to the running commentary. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, hoisting the Indian flag and the British flag going down. We became very happy. Of course, we couldn't understand the speech because we neither knew Hindi or English, we knew only Tamil. He was at that time in Rameshwaram. But he said, we were very happy. India became independent. Next day he said, I saw 2 photographs on the front page of the newspapers. The first photograph was showing Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru hoisting the Indian flag. I was very happy to see that photograph. Second photograph, he said, was my primary education, was my secondary education, was my college education, and was my life education. And And what was that photograph? The second photograph was showing the time when the whole India was celebrating the independence and was overjoyed, rejoicing. At that time, the person who singularly fought and led the whole freedom movement and made the maximum sacrifice, that person at that time was walking barefooted in the streets of Navakali, wiping the tears of the afflicted people. He said that was a great source of inspiration. I could understand. That is the nobility of leadership. That is servant leadership. He could have become the first Prime Minister of India. He did not take up any power position. He sacrificed maximum. But when it came to power, he was away. He was going on doing service to humanity, wiping the tears of the people. Dr. Kalam said that was a great source of inspiration to me. That is servant leadership. That servant leadership is now becoming an in-word in the whole world community. They say now no longer this bossism will do. Peter Drucker says in his book, Managing in the Next Millennium, he says, managers and executives from now onwards are going to be more and more influential with no authority whatsoever over their subordinates. And this is what is really happening. We are not able to control the workers. Why? Because he said the next millennium is the millennium of knowledge workers. It is not ordinary workers. We have to deal not with the fourth class staff, not with the ordinary staff. The people whom we want to control are more intelligent than you. How do you control? Software engineers, IT professionals, how do you control them? So, bossism won't do. Servant leadership. That concept is coming. So, likewise, a lot of new concepts are coming. The fourth wave of Vedantic style of management is coming. Trusteeship management is becoming popular. Many companies are now realizing that they will have to resort to trusteeship management if they want to have a long-term profit, not short-term profit. For short-term profit, of course, you must have exploiting management. Go on exploiting the people. But the time comes when it breaks down. You can no longer befool all the people all the time. You will be found out. And so, the new concept of this holistic style of management is coming up, and people are now realizing that we will have to resort to what is called the trusteeship management principle, which was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi. But the seeds of those trusteeship management are already there in Vedanta. Vedanta says, Isha Vasamidam Sarvam Yatincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Ma Vrita Kasasiddhanam. Ishavasya says, each and every whole, the whole universe is being permeated, permeated by one supreme consciousness. So what do we do? Since that same God, same divine, same consciousness in each and every human being, do not try to cheat others. Enjoy the world, but through renunciation. How can I enjoy the world by renunciation? Whereas not renouncing the wealth, what we have to renounce is the attachment to wealth, is the attachment to the ego, is what we have to renounce is selfishness. Let there be enlightened self-interest. That is the message of Ishavasya mission, and that is a principle, based on the principle of solidarity of the whole universe. There are two basic principles of Vedanta. First, divinity of the soul. Each and every human being has got within himself or herself a center of consciousness, a reality which is birthless, deathless, ever pure, ever blissful, having infinite power. The Atman, Esha Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Guru Atmana Prakashate, Drishyate Prabhaya Buddhya, Shukshmaya, Shukshmadarshini, says the Upanishad. inside each and every human being is that Atman, that's reality. But it can be realized only by a very fine brain. A different type of intelligence is required to know this reality. And the second is solidarity with the whole universe. Whole universe is being permeated by the same supreme consciousness. Now, which has been experimentally proved by the modern quantum mechanics. David Bohm has verified the Bell's theorem, which says all the particles of the whole universe are interconnected at a deeper level. And that is why Schrödinger says consciousness is a singular of which the plural is unknown. Same consciousness. These principles give rise to the principle of trusteeship management. If each and every human being is manifesting the same divine, and it's the same reality permeating the whole universe, how can I cheat others? How can I sleep when I have cheated my man? And that is what the Vedanta will say. The law of karma is a corollary to this law of Vedanta. If each and every human being is the same divine, is the same consciousness permeating the whole universe, if you are CEO of a multinational company and if you have exploited your labor force, if you are sleeping on the 7th floor of a beautiful posh building near the seashore, on the Dunlop below, with any amount of tranquilizers, you can't get sleep. If the person below, down below, the labor, the person whom you have exploited is down below, going without food, you cannot have. Because the whole universe is one. We are all basically one. It is the one universal consciousness permeating the whole universe. So then the principle of trusteeship management is being recognized as a successful formula for getting long-term success and fulfillment. Many CEOs are now realizing in India, and gradually the other countries are also following that. Then trusteeship management says that I cannot cheat others and remain happy and have peace of mind on a long run. It cannot be. And that is why distribute your wealth for the well-being of others. This was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi, as I told, but the seeds are there in the Upanishads. Swami Vivekananda also gave this principle of trusteeship management. In America, Swami Vivekananda had gone for participating in the Chicago Parliamentary Regents in 1893, as you know, and he continued to stay there for 4 years of preaching the message of Vedanta. When he was in Chicago at that time, the richest person in the world was John D. Rockefeller, the emperor of petroleum industry. He had minted money by exploiting a lot of people, and naturally as a corollary, he had come to the stage when he was not having peace of mind. He had come to the breaking point, mental breakdown, and he was contemplating suicide. At that time, he was suggested, why don't you go to Swami Vivekananda, a saint has come from India, after meeting him, you may get peace of mind. And it happens with many multimillionaires. He was the richest person in the world. Rockefeller said, what? I have to go to a beggar for getting advice? I will not go. And he did not go. But one fine morning, he reached the place of residence where Swami Vivekananda was staying. He just called the bell, the butler opened the door, he went inside. Without being announced, he just went inside. Swami Vivekananda was at that time in his study room, fully engrossed in study, with full concentration. So Rockefeller came and knocked at the door. Then Swami Vivekananda looked up. Then Rockefeller said, I am Rockefeller. Swami Vivekananda was sitting. In his seated posture, he asked, what do you want? Now Rockefeller was not prepared for this type of treatment. He said, I don't want anything. I said, why have you come? What to reply? He himself had come. Then Swami Nikhileswarananda said, Rockefeller, I know why you have come. You have come here because you do not have peace of mind. Then Swami Vivekananda started recounting many incidents from the life of Rockefeller which no one else knew than him. He became excited. He asked, who has told all this thing to you? How do you come to know? Who has told? Then Swami Vivekananda smiled and said, do you think it is necessary that somebody should tell me? I can see through your mind as I can see through a glass almirah. Then Rockefeller became nonplussed. Then Swami Vivekananda said, my dear Rockefeller, I'll give you a piece of advice. If you want peace of mind, remember, you are not the owner of your wealth, you are only a custodian of your wealth. Utilize this money for removing the suffering of poor people, the suffering people, and immediately you will get peace of mind. There is no other method of getting peace of mind. Now Rockefeller was not in a habit of listening to anybody's advice, least of all from a beggar like Swami Vivekananda. So he just left abruptly, as abruptly had come. Left the hall immediately, without saying anything. But after a few days, again he came. Suddenly, he came abruptly, called the bell, the butler opened the door, he immediately rushed in without being announced. Swami Vivekananda was not in drawing room, he was in study room. Immediately went to the study room, and Swamiji, as usual, was very engrossed with full concentration in the study. Again knocked at the table. When Swamiji looked up, then Rockefeller put a piece of paper on his table, in which it was announced he had made an announcement of a huge donation for a public cause. So Swamiji read the whole thing. Then Rockefeller said, well, now you must thank me. I have followed your advice. Then Swamiji smiled and said, well, it is for you to thank me. Because by following this advice, you will get peace of mind which cannot be purchased by millions of dollars from the market. That is how Swami Vivekananda had given the message of trusteeship management to John D. Rockefeller. Some time back, I read in the newspapers that Bill Gates had come to India and some newspaper reporters had interviewed him. And he was asked, why have you come to India? He said, I admire India for its great cultural and spiritual heritage. He said, how did you come to it? And he said, by reading the books of Swami Vivekananda. Have you read the books of Swami Vivekananda? Then he said, well, I do not go to sleep without reading a page from the book of Swami Vivekananda. When I read this, I couldn't believe, because my concept of Bill Gates was one who believes in cutthroat competition, cutting the others' heads. So many companies have been closed down. That was my concept. I couldn't believe. Reading the books of Swami Vivekananda, cutting the throats of others, how is it possible? But then, later on when I read in the newspapers that he has announced that accepting only $10 million, that time he was the richest person, now he is the second richest person, that time he had $70 billion. Now I think it has come down to about $25 billion, I don't know the exact position, but he is still the second richest person in the world. But bearing only $10 million for his children, all that money he will give for charity. When I read this, not only that, last year he was the person who had made the maximum amount of charity, public charity in the world. When I read that, I said, yes, now I can believe that he must have read the books of Swami Vivekananda. Because Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga, which is his favorite book, gives these ideas of serving others and getting fulfillment by serving others, getting peace of mind by serving others. So that idea of trusteeship management is becoming very popular. So this new paradigm shift is coming in the field of management. And now, as I told you, Peter Drucker says, management is not only business management, it is related to every aspect of our life. And so it affects each and every one of us. And Swami Vivekananda said, Vedanta also affects each and every aspect of our life. And he said, what we want now is practical Vedanta. The principles of Vedanta must be applied in our everyday life. And by application of this Vedanta, a manager will be a better manager, an executive will be a better executive, a teacher will be a better teacher, a student will be a better student, a housewife will be a better housewife. By application of these principles of Vedanta. So, this management of everyday life can become better if we can apply these principles of Vedanta in our everyday life. And there are various facets. First of all, we come to the management of life itself. Management of life. Management of everyday life. But what is life? I ask many youngsters, have you ever thought of what is the aim of life? Yes. Aim of my life is to become a management consultant. Aim of my life is to become a doctor. Aim of my life is to become an engineer. Aim of my life is to become a politician. They will go on telling. I said, that is okay. But what is the ultimate aim of my life? Ultimate aim of your life? Ultimate purpose of your life? Oh, that I never thought. So when you will start thinking, when you sit in the car and you are driving somebody, the first question you should ask is, where do I want to go? That is the first question. Already the car has started and you are not yet asked the question. And after reaching thousands of kilometers away, when you find out that you have to go to the other side, you come back and go to the other side. What is the wisdom in that? So first question is, where do I want to go? But we have not asked this question to ourselves because lack of SQ. So if we want to have management of everyday life, the first thing important is we must have not only IQ, not only EQ, but also SQ. IQ, as you know, intelligence quotient. EQ is also, you know, Daniel Goleman made a research in 1991, emotional intelligence is much more important than ordinary intelligence. And now the latest book, as you know, is SQ. Dana Zohar, an Oxford University professor, has written a book. Name of the book is SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence. And there she points out, neurologically, physiologically, biologically, psychologically, from every point of view, there is a concluding evidence that there is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. And what is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And what is SQ? SQ will tell you whether to play the game of life at all or not, but that is your choice. What is the meaning of life? Why I come here? What is the purpose of life? What is the ultimate meaning of life? This is SQ. When we come to management of everyday life, first of all we have to remember what is management of life and what is life itself. Why are we born? And how are we different animals? How are we different as human beings from animals? Because the latest discovery says, Dana Zohar says, IQ is available in all the species including the computers. EQ is available only with a few species, not with all species. And SQ is available only with the human species, not with any other species. That is the special prerogative of human beings. We have got SQ, and to develop SQ is the main purpose of life. Then only to give us success and fulfillment. IQ, EQ, and of course SQ, most important. Meaning of life, what is the purpose of life? That is where we differ from the other animals and other species. That is why Teilhard de Chardin has written a beautiful book. The name of the book, The Phenomena of Man. And then he raises this question, what is the difference between a man and an animal? And somebody say, intelligence. Then Teilhard de Chardin says, not necessarily. Then he says, gives the example. One fine morning you find a cat has stolen milk from your kitchen. And so next day you apply intelligence and you hide milk in some other corner of the house. And the other day, next morning you find cat has stolen milk from that corner also. It happens sometimes. So who is more intelligent? So cat has also got intelligence. But then what is the difference between a man and animal? And Terry Chardes says beautifully, while the man knows what he knows, an animal does not know what he knows. Cat knows how to steal the milk, but cat does not know that to steal the milk is bad or good. To have the knowledge of stealing is good or bad. But man knows whether how to steal the milk. Man also knows that stealing is bad, and then he transforms his character and becomes divine. That prerogative is only with a human being. That is why Swami Nikhileswarananda said, I never heard a cow tell a lie, but it is always a cow and never a man. I never heard a cow tell a lie, but it is always a cow and never a man. A man commits mistake today, tells a lie today, tomorrow he becomes great by overcoming his weakness. But a cow cannot tell a lie because it cannot speak. A cat may know how to steal the milk, but he does not know stealing the milk is good or bad. While a man knows what he knows, an animal does not know what it knows. And that is why Lincoln Barnett, in his book, beautiful book, Universe and Dr. Einstein, says, man has a unique capacity of transcending himself and perceiving himself in the act of perception. And that is why Niels Bohr, the great physicist, says, man is both actor and spectator in this great drama of life simultaneously. We can be the actors, at the same time we can be the spectators, which other species cannot have that prerogative. When the two actors are playing the role, one has become Rama and another has become Ravana. Both are fighting on the stage. But Rama knows that I have to kill this Ravana, but I don't have to kill fully. Why? Because after 5 minutes, we will be in the green room and we will be sharing the cup of tea. He is my friend. So though he knows he is Ravana and I am Rama, he acts as if he is Rama. At the same time, he knows I am not Rama and he is not Ravana. So we can be actors and spectators in this great drama of life simultaneously. That is a special prerogative of human beings. So, this SQ, development of SQ, is the basis of the whole thing. If we really want to have management of life, we must know what is life. Life is precious. We are human beings. And the purpose of life is to manifest our divinity. That is what Swami Nikhileswarananda says. Beautifully, he gives the whole gist of Vedanta in Raj Yoga. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work, worship, self-control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Dogmas, rituals, worships, temples, churches, mosques, they are but secondary details. This development of SQ is a must. And for this development of SQ, it is not necessary to go to a church or a mosque or a temple. If you go, well and good. If not, what is most important is whether there is a change in your perception. Whether have you started realizing your potential divinity, and how that potential divinity will be manifested by 4 methods. Number 1, by meditation. Second, by self-analysis. Who am I? Knowledge. Third, prayer. And fourth, unselfish service. And that is why Swami Vivekananda says, unselfishness is the test of religion. The true test of a religious person is how far he has become unselfish. And that's why he says in his book Karma Yoga, A very bold statement he makes. Only a religious teacher of his caliber can only make a statement. What does he say? He says, even if a person has not read a single religious book, even if a person has not entered any church, mosque or temple or any religious place, if the person has not followed any single religious ritual, but if he has come to the point where he is ready to sacrifice his everything for serving others, he is the most religious person in the world. What a statement! It's not necessary to follow the external rituals of religion. That is not religion. For the development of SQ, spiritual quotient, what is needed is a holistic paradigm. Serving others, looking upon them as your own self, because the same reality is present in each and every human being. Consciousness is a singular, of which the plural is unknown. The modern science has given us this holistic paradigm, but we have to apply this holistic paradigm in our everyday life, and that is why, as I told you, M.R. Thiessen, the management consultant of Amsterdam, Holland, says, if we do not have a paradigm shift in this perspective, then we will have a paradigm paralysis. We must have a holistic paradigm in our in management of our everyday life, management of every sphere. We must have this holistic paradigm. So management of life will involve development of SQ, IQ and EQ, all the three, and recognizing the great value of human life and realizing the potential divinity before we die. Before we die, this has to be done. We have to reach immortality before we die. We have to get infinite knowledge and bliss before we meet death. Otherwise, death will be a great terror for us. But for the person who has realized this divinity, well, he laughs at death. He laughs, as it happened in the case of Alexander the Great. You know, Alexander the Great came to India, to conquer India. When he was coming, his teacher said, when you are going to India, please bring some gift for me. So what should I bring? When he said, you see, in India, everywhere you get so many good things. But in India particularly, you get very good type of saints. So, bring a good saint to our country. That would be nice. So he was in search of a saint. He was passing through a forest when he saw a monk sitting on a bit of rock, fully absorbed in meditation. Very bright face. He got very much impressed. And after some time, his meditation was over. Then he started. Ladysmith started talking with that saint and he became very impressed by his talks. Then he said, you have to come to my country. I will build a beautiful palace for you and I will give you nice clothes and nice food to eat. The saint started laughing. He said, you fool, I am very happy here. Why should I come to your country? I don't need any palace. I am sitting, I am living under the tree. I am feeling happy. Why should I come? I don't need your palace. And I don't need to wear clothes. The sky is my clothes. And this tree gives me beautiful fruits. I don't need anything to eat from your hand. I am very happy and satisfied here. No, you have to come to me. You say, I promised my teacher, I will bring a good saint and I am very much interested. You must come. No, you have to come with me. I will not. Now, Alexander the Great was never in habit to hear no from anyone. So he became very much annoyed. Immediately drew out the sword. If you don't come, I will kill you. And as he did like this, there was not a person in the world at the time who could stand his sword, Alexander's sword. But this saint started laughing. You fool, this is the most foolish thing you ever said. You cannot kill me. Don't you know? Your sword cannot kill me. Don't you know? The fire cannot burn me. Don't you know? The air cannot dry me. Don't you know? The water cannot melt me. Don't you know? I am not this body. I am the birthless, deathless, ever blissful Atma. Nainam chintanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kriyate apo. न चैनम क्लेदम त्यागो, न श्रोषति मारुता, अच्छेद्योयम, अधायोयम, आक्लेद्यो, आश्रोषेवच, नित्य स्वर्गत स्थान, अचलोयम सनातन. I am the ever Atman. Alexander had never seen any person standing with so much of courage before his sword when it was drawn out. And when he saw that man laughing at the prospect of death, the sword fell down from his own hands and he became terrified. The reverse thing happened. And then the monk said, "You fool, you want to take me to your country? I can see through my third eye. You yourself are not going to reach your own country." And the history says it really happened. Alexander could not reach his own country on the way he died. But when he died, when he was dying, he told, "When you put me in the grave, please put my hands like this. Let the whole message, let the whole world receive the message." Alexander conquered the whole world, but he went empty-handed. Nothing was going with him. And that saint who had renounced everything, he got the whole world, and I conquered the whole world, and nothing I am taking back from here, from the grave. Let the world receive the message. Where is the fulfillment of life? Kabir says beautifully, "जब तू आया जगत में, जग हंसे तू रोए, ऐसी करनी कर चलो, मरते समय तुम हंसो, जग रोए." Kabir says, when you came to this world, you were weeping and all were laughing. This happens. When a child is born, the child always weeps. And all the people, they rejoice. "Oh, child is born, they are making money." And when the child does not weep, others start weeping. And they call the doctor. And then the doctor gives the injection. When he starts weeping, then others rejoice. So, when you were born, you were weeping and the whole world was rejoicing. Now, you live the life in such a manner, managing your life in such a manner, that when you die with full satisfaction. No, I have not done anything wrong to anybody. I lived a very nice, perfect life. I have been serving others. I have been taking the name of the Lord. I have been doing the work of the Lord. And now I am going to the Lord, the Supreme Abode, with full satisfaction, no regrets. I am so happy. I am going to the abode of peace. You leave this world happily. You go smiling. Let the world weep. "Oh, such a nice person has gone." Let them weep. That is the fulfillment of life. "जब तू आया जगत में, जग हंसे तू रोए, ऐसी करनी कर चलो, मरते समय तुम हंसो, जग रोए." Let the world weep. Such a nice person has gone. That is the fulfillment of life. When we talk about management, we must know what is life. How precious is human life. We must develop SQ by combination of these 4 yogas: Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Karma Yoga. That is meditation, prayer, self-inquiry, this path of knowledge, and the path of service, unselfish service, the converting work into worship. Spirit of detachment is a must for converting work into worship. And we talk about the management of everyday work, whether we are in the professional field, whether we are in the corporate sector, involved in every management of human affairs is the concentration of mind. Concentration is key to success. And behind each and every great personality, if we find a person, whether in any field, whether in making money, whether in sports, whether in music, whether in studies, everywhere, it is the person having concentration of mind who conquers. Concentration is key to success. And that's why Swami Vivekananda said, concentration is the essence of education. Is the essence of education. If I have to do my education over again, I will first learn how to concentrate my mind, how to control my mind, and then the facts I can have it my own will. Very easily. But most important is to develop the power of concentration of mind. Once you get concentration of mind, success. In everything, every sphere. And how to get this success? Swami Vivekananda himself, a great amount of success. A great amount in everything. And he had a great, tremendous power of concentration of mind. Once Swami Vivekananda was sitting in his room in Belur. You know, Ramakrishna mission, which was started by Swami Vivekananda, has got 150 branches all over the world, 40 abroad, and 110 in India, 10 in Bangladesh, 12 in the United States, 1 each in Japan, Fiji, Mauritius, Singapore, Switzerland, Argentina, Canada, Brazil, Australia, etc. And 110 in India, and the headquarters in Belur. And apart from that, there are 1,000 centers which are working on the similar lines, just as the center here working in South Africa, the Ramakrishna Center of South Africa. Likewise, there are so many centers which are not yet affiliated but wanting affiliation. They are also working very good, wonderful work. So, Belur is the headquarters. Swami Vivekananda was at that time in his room. Belur upstairs, there is a room. That room has been still kept as it is. Even if you go now to Belur in India, you will find the room has been kept as it is. You feel as if Swami Vivekananda is there. So Swami Vivekananda, what is his room? He was reading the book. The name of the book, Encyclopedia Britannica. Big volumes. And his disciple Sharachandra Chakravarti came. He saw many big volumes, new volumes had come. And he told Swamiji, it will take a whole lifetime to finish all these books. Reading all these books. Then Swami said, what do you say? They have come only a few days back, and within these few days, I have finished 10 volumes, and now I am reading the 11th volume. The disciple was very much astonished. He couldn't believe. He said, impossible. 10 volumes in a few days you have read. How can I believe? Then Swami, you don't believe? Okay. These are the 10 volumes I have already finished reading. You ask any question from these 10 volumes. And the disciple asked many questions, and Swamiji gave reply, and sometimes quoting the very language of the book. Then the disciple was very much astonished. Swamiji, this is miracle. Swamiji said, this is not miracle. This is the power of concentration of mind. If your concentration of mind, immediately you will get success in everything, whether it's study or anything. Everything you can catch, whatever work, it will be done with perfection. When Swamiji went to America second time, not this first visit, second visit, when he went there, once he was passing through a bridge, then he saw by the side of the river, there were 4 cowboys trying to shoot at the eggshells which were floating in water. But you know, they were shooting at the eggshells, but the eggshells were floating in water, so the shots were going in vain. And Swamiji could not help smiling. And when these 4 cowboys saw Swami Vivekananda smiling at them, they became very much annoyed. You are smiling at us. Is it a small thing to shoot at the eggshells which are floating in water? Okay, we give you the challenge. Let us see how you shoot at them. You are laughing at us. Okay, we give you the challenge. And they handed over the gun to Swami. Now what to do? So Swamiji took up the gun, aimed at the eggshells, and 12 eggshells gone in 12 shots. And the 4 cowboys, they were very much astonished. Swami, how long you are practicing? We are practicing from 5 years. We could not do it. How long you have been practicing? Then Swami replied, well, my dear friends, I am holding a gun for the first time. First time, and you finished all the 12 eggshells. It's a miracle. Swamiji said it's not a miracle. That is the power of concentration of mind. If you have got concentration of mind, success in everything, any work, success, success, success. Concentration of mind. Then how to get concentration of mind? Swamiji was asked. He had given a reply which I normally give to the youngsters in a mathematical form. C is directly proportional to P. C is directly proportional to P. If P increases, C increases. If P goes down, C also goes down. And what is C? Concentration of mind. What is P? Purity of mind. Purer the mind, the better will be the concentration of mind. And how to get purity of mind? Another formula. Ahar shuddho, sattva shuddhi, sattva shuddho, dhruva shuddhi. If your food is pure, if your ahar is pure, if your ahar is pure, food is pure, your mind will become pure. When your mind becomes pure, you will have unfailing memory and great concentration of mind. And food means not only what we are taking through mouth, that is also food. That food should be of such a type which does not agitate our mind. if we really want a pure mind. But then there is another thing. Intake is not only taken by the mouth, they are taken by other sense organs also. So Gandhi used to keep, 3 monkeys, Japanese monkeys, you might be knowing. One monkey, both the eyes closed. Second monkey, both the ears closed. And the third monkey, the mouth closed. The message was, don't look at evil things, don't listen to evil things, and don't speak evil things. That is the message of the 3 monkeys. That we have to remember. But we also have to remember the 3 monkeys of Switzerland. One of the Swamijis went to Switzerland. There, by the side of a lake, he found an image of 3 monkeys. Recently I had been to Switzerland. As you know, I had gone to UK to participate in that second international conference, disaster management. So I took the opportunity of visiting our centers in Holland, Germany, France, and Netherlands and all that. But then in Switzerland, I wanted to see that image of 3 monkeys. I couldn't get it. There I saw so many legs and legs, full of legs. Which leg we do not know. But by the side of a leg, that monk discovered an image of 3 monkeys, but very strange monkeys. One of the monkeys was having one eye closed and another open. The second monkey was having one ear closed and another open. And the third monkey was having half mouth closed, half open. So he couldn't understand the message. What is the message? When he suddenly remembered a shloka from the Vedas and immediately got a message. What was the shloka? Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyam deva Bhadram pashe makshabhirjatra Srivairangai srustuvam svastanubhi Vishema devahi tayyadayu Svastina indro vindashva Svastina pusha vishwaveda Svastina staksho arishtanemi Svastino prestapir dadhatu Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyam deva. Listen to auspicious things. One ear is closed. Don't listen to evil things. But one ear is open. Listen to auspicious things. Bhadram pashe makshabhirjatra. One eye is closed. Don't look at evil things. But one eye is open. Look to good things. Auspicious things you must look at. Half mouth is closed. Don't speak bad things. But speak words of appreciation for others. Why not? Appreciate others by your mouth. And encourage others and motivate others. So making good use of our senses, taking good food, pure food through our senses, and not taking impure food, that will give the power, the purity of mind, and purity of mind will give us concentration of mind. That will give us efficiency. Whatever work we are doing, whether we are in the office, whether in the kitchen, whether we are in the school, whatever work we are doing, every work will become perfect if they got concentration of mind. But another thing is required to make work into perfect fructification of converting work into worship, and that is equanimity of mind. It is like Gita says, Yoga Karmashu Kaushalam. Efficiency in action is yoga. Yoga means one which connects you to God, one which connects you to divinity. But for that, you must have 2 types of efficiency. Number 1, zero defect. The work must be done with perfection. But second thing is required is samatvam yoga uchyate. You must also have equanimity of mind. That means there should not be attachment to work, the attachment to the fruits of the action. That is ma phaleshu kadachana. That is what Sri Krishna tells Arjuna in the Gita. That is the message. If you remember, you will never have stress. So many people come for stress management, they are various formulas. But one of the things is this message. That is, ma phaleshu kadachana. You have the right to work, but not the fruits thereof. Don't get attached too much to the fruits. Then the tension will come and the work will become less productive, less efficient. Example, if there is a surgeon, very efficient surgeon, well known, major operations, not a single major operation is failed. And many people come from far off places to get operation done in his clinic. But today he is telling, I cannot operate this boy. It is a minor operation, and yet the surgeon is telling, I cannot operate this boy because I am feeling nervous and my knife is shaking. So please take him to another clinic. Oh, such a big surgeon, from far places people are coming to you for operation, and so many major operations you have done, and this is a minor operation, and you are telling that I will not be able to do operation, I am feeling nervous. What is the reason? Well, the person on the operation theatre is his own son. That's the difference. And now that efficiency is gone. Why? Because now he is thinking about the result. If at all the operation becomes unsuccessful, then what will happen? And immediately start shaking. But other people, oh, doesn't matter whether he dies or not. I have got the fees. Don't worry. I have got the fees in advance. Don't worry. But here he is very much concerned about the result, and so starts shaking. So attachment to results. That is why if you want to convert work into worship, two things are required. It must be done with perfection, yoga karmasu kaushalam. Second, samatvam yoga uchyate, equanimity of mind. That is how productivity of work will come. Management of everyday work, whatever work we are in. And then stress management. Stress management, as I told you, very important subject. It has become a very important subject. By the way, what is the time now? I have not how much time for the... We have to have a break? Yes. What is the time now? 4 o'clock. We have to close at 4:45?
No.
4:45 we have to close now?
3:45.
What is the time? This is already 4 o'clock.
Yes, madam.
So I think we must give a break.
Yes.
So, because when the time is very less, I want also to answer the question. Now, what is remaining to be done is, I will give you some hints on management of family, stress management, management of mind, a little I have already dealt, little more. These things I want to do. Plus, I want to answer your questions. That is most important, because I don't want to give you ready-made food. I want to prepare the nice food for you. Of course, mental food, not physical. That you will get now in the tea break, whatever little you get. So, you prepare, you ask questions. In the second session, I would like to answer the questions, and remaining part, whatever little I want to tell about stress management and family management, that I would say. But more importantly, I want to answer the questions. Whatever question you want to ask regarding management of everyday life, I will try my best to answer. For the time being, I end here. Thank you. So by the time the questions are coming, we'll continue with what we are talking about, management of everyday life. We have talked about the meaning of the word management, management of life, management of mind a little, and management of work a little. Management of money also we have talked. It is better to have, you must manage your money rather than money managing you. That's the one principle that you have to remember. Let money not manage you, you manage your money in such a manner that money doesn't manage you. Most of the time, it is, we are going blindly after money, making money. Money is very important, very important. But the purpose of having more money is to have happiness and peace. We forget that. That's the problem. So we must manage money. Money should not manage us. At present we have become slave to our money. There was a fisherman. It was afternoon. He was sleeping on the boat. There was a person sitting by the shores of the sea. He asked this person, "Hey, what is the matter? It is still afternoon and you are sleeping like this. Why are you not fishing?" He said, "You see what happened? Early morning
I got a very big fish, fortunately. And I have sold that fish and I have got very good money. And that money is sufficient for my today's needs. So my quota is over. So I am now relaxing. Then that person said, what is this? Is there something called quota in earning money? You must earn more money. This still evening is yet to approach. Go and have more fish. And then have money. But what will I do with extra money? Because whatever money I wanted, already I have got. What I will do with extra money? Why? You will save the money. Save, then what? Go on saving the money. When you got more money, you purchase a bigger boat. When you purchase a bigger boat, you will be able to enter further deep down the ocean. Then you will be able to get much bigger fishes. And by that, you will get much more money. But what will I do with that money? Go on accumulating money. When you got enough of money, then you come to me. You see, I have got the latest rate of share market rates of all the big companies. So then I will suggest you where to invest your money. And when you invest like that, you see, every month you will get a nice fixed income and then you will be able to sleep nicely. Well, I was sleeping nicely, it is you who disturbed me. We forget the purpose of life is to sleep nicely, to have happiness and peace. But most of the time, we are so much busy in making money. Day and night, busy, I am opening this, another branch there in London, another branch in New York, and so busy in making money, earning money. No time to spend with family members, no time to spend with the children, no time to eat, no time to sleep, and going on, working hard for getting money. For what? For enjoyment. Are you enjoying? Not now. When will you enjoy? When the last warning will come from the doctor, now this is the third attack, heart attack. Now you cannot go for work, you have to sit in your house, you may have a 7-story building, but you have to stay in the ground floor, and eating, you have to avoid everything except tranquilizers and antibiotics and injection. What is the use? What is the use of that money? It is most of the time, money is enjoying us, we are not enjoying money. We must make money, we must have more money, we must earn more and more money, but not at the cost of health, not at the cost of peace of mind, not at the cost of our basic meaning of life. Let's remember the ultimate purpose of life is to get success and fulfillment, is to develop IQ, EQ and SQ. And money is a very good medium because that gives us a lot of gadgets, a lot of comforts, but that is not the ultimate purpose of life. Most of the people have got one equation in their mind, firmly fixed. What is that? A is directly proportional to M, where S is equal to happiness and M is equal to money. More money, the greater will be the happiness. But if statistical analysis of any value, what do we find? There are 3 countries in the world having highest per capita income: America, Japan and Sweden. And 3 countries having highest rate of psychic patients, mental patients. The name of the countries are America, Japan and Sweden. And there are 3 countries having highest rate of suicides: America, Japan and Sweden. So what is the formula? H is inversely proportional to N. The greater the money, the per capita income in the country, the greater is the number of suicide, the greater is the mental patient. According to National Institute of Mental Health in America, at least on an average, at least one person in every family regularly goes to a psychiatrist. 25% of the Americans going regularly to psychiatrist. And as I told the Minister of Health Japan, 42% of the executives of 44 is and above suffering from mental disorder. And so many books are coming out, you know. Derek Humphreys has written a book. The name of the book is The Final Exit. And the book is also exit, not available in the market. With great difficulty I got one from the bookshop last year. There was a book fair. And what is written there? How to commit suicide. Selling like hotcake. The bestseller book in Japan, 3 years back, the name of the book, The Complete Manual on Committing Suicide. And 350,000 copies sold within 1 year. 350,000 copies. It was the bestseller in Japan. And some people committed suicide taking the book in their hand and committing suicide in the manner in which it was told in the book. France, the bestseller book name, Suicide User's Manual. The so-called developed countries having, and so-called people, we thought that perhaps poor people are very much miserable, they have to be helped. They have to be helped. But the moneyed people are more miserable because they cannot manage money. They don't know how to manage money. They are not making good use of their money. They are making use of that money for only keeping in fixed deposits in Swiss bank or on drugs and other immoral things. So we must manage money. We must know how to earn money. That is with ethical means. Earn money by ethical means, number one. There is no harm in earning money, but earn money by ethical means. Second, we must make use of this money for our own happiness. Let us utilize this money for happiness. Let us enjoy the money rather than keeping it in a fixed deposit. And let us utilize this money for removing the sufferings of other people. Let us follow the principle of trusteeship management as advocated by Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, and as given in our Vedanta. Trusteeship management. So this is little bit about management of money I have told. Of course, there will be so many financial advisors giving you how to invest, where to invest. But the best investment is on removing the miseries of other people. There cannot be better investment. You will get everlasting benefits, peace of mind. And of course, the law of karma is supreme in the mental world, as law of gravitation is supreme in the physical world. You may or may not believe the law of karma will operate. If you have obtained wealth by unfair means, you are going to be doomed. You cannot have peace of mind. You may have best model cars. You may have very good buildings. You may have best dresses, all types of facilities, but you cannot have happiness and peace. If you have cheated others, you cannot have. Simple law of karma, because the whole world is one. It is one whole universe, all united by these particles. Same particles, same consciousness is pervading. So by the law of karma, you cannot cheat others and have peace of mind. So for management of money, we must remember, earn money, of course, but then earn with fair means, and also see that it is well utilized and well invested for removing the sufferings of other people. Now we come to management of family. You know, a lot of families do not have peace of mind. Our modern age, communication technology is increased. Physical distance is annihilated. And now it has virtually become a global village. Yes, they call it as a global village. You just fly by air, supersonic planes, within a few hours you reach the other corner of the world. The physical distance has been annihilated. Communication technology is advanced. Through internet, you are within a few seconds, you convey the message to the other people. The physical world has become one. The physical distance has come down. But unfortunately, the mental distance has increased. You can communicate very nicely with your friend who is situated thousands of kilometers away, sitting on your sofa. Just take up the telephone. Through ISD, you will be connected directly to your friend. Thousands of kilometers away, you can have a nice communication. And you can hear the voice very nicely. Why? Because the communication is done through satellites. Previously, you had to shout over trunk call because it was going through wire. Now, through satellite. So you can communicate very nicely with your friend who is thousands of kilometers away, sitting on a sofa. But unfortunately, no communication with your wife sitting on the same sofa from last 6 months. Yes, I know. I know many husbands' wives, they are living together, but they don't talk. They just write slips of paper. After some communication to be there, but they won't talk. So many. I have cases I have seen. The other day I told them about a couple. I was standing on Baroda platform station in India. I had gone there for lecture. I was waiting in the railway station, waiting for a train. Just some distance away, there was a couple waiting for the train. But the husband was looking at one side and the wife was looking at the other side. And after some time, the husband very politely asked, "What is there? Why the train is coming so late?" He asked very politely. And the wife roared like a tiger, "Am I the station master that you are asking me why the train is late?" And the husband was so much terrified, he was flung 6 feet away. So, physical communication is increased, physical distance is annihilated, mental distance is increased. No communication between husband and wife, no communication between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Of course, that is all old days. Now, no communication between mother and daughter. Generation gap has come. The daughter is telling more from the old generation. You are talking like 18th century woman. The daughter is telling her own mother. In India, they tell these girls, these college girls, they say, "What? You are talking like 18th century lady. I am now in the 21st century. I have to be modern. You see, I have to keep in with the trend." So, the generation gap, a big generation gap has come. So, no peace of mind in the family. Communication channels have been broken. Mental barriers are broken. What is the solution? Oneself was the Prime Minister of Japan in 16th century, 17th century. And it was told, the whole thing went to the Emperor of Japan. He heard that in his family, he had a very big joint family, so many members, but still, in his family, there was perfect harmony and peace. Nobody quarreling. Even the dogs were not quarreling in his house. Normally, dogs can't remain without quarreling. But the dogs also were not quarreling in his house. What is the matter? Why so much of harmony and peace? So the emperor came to the prime minister, who was an old man, Oneself. He said, "You see, you are having such a big joint family, you are having peace and harmony, and we are having small families, still we can't retain peace. So why don't you give me the success formulas? You give me 100 success formulas, you write down for me, so that I will circulate among the people, so they can have peace of mind." So he said, "Okay, give me the piece of paper and pencil." And then he wrote down the 100 formulas for success and harmony and peace in the family. He wrote down forbearance, 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 100 times. One formula, forbearance, bear, tolerance. Tolerance limit has to be increased. Try to adjust with others. Try to understand others. Better communication. We don't try to listen to others' problems. We have our own problems, but we forget that the other party will have also his or her own problem. This trying to understand each other and trying to adjust with each other, that is the best way of having the harmony in family. And for any relationships, management of relationships, whether with family members, whether with friends, whether with colleagues, whether with the boss, whether with the subordinates, everywhere, management of relationships or nurturing relationship is like nurturing a plant. When you plant a seedling, you require fence so that the goats will not take away the seedlings and the plant. That is number one, guarding. Second, we must have fertilizers. Third, we must have insecticides so that the worms do not eat away. Fourth, we must have pruning from time to time. But fifth, most important thing is we must water the plant. Similarly, if we want to have a plant of relationship, then we must have a good soil, that is a soil of understanding, a good guarding of disciplining of the behavior. Then we also must have good fertilizer. Humility is the great fertilizer. Humility. Then we must have insecticides. Otherwise, these worms will eat away. Worms of jealousy will eat away. So we must have insecticides. And most importantly, we must water the plant. And that water is L-O-V-E. Love. Without love, no relationship can grow. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, for success in everything, purity, passions and perseverance are the three essential to success, and above all, love. Love is the most important thing. For nurturing relationship, love is the most important thing. But mind you, what type of love? What type of water? As I told you in Porbandar, we had constructed as a part of earthquake rehabilitation project at the cost of 200 millions of rupees. We constructed 81 school building and 6 colonies. We wanted it to be an ideal colony, so we provided community hall, prayer hall, dispensary, library, and we gave them cement concrete house, very nice house with all the facilities, and we had a very good compound wall, and we also went for tree plantation so that the whole colony looks nice, and they have trees and they have shades. But we watered the plants also, and yet the plants died. Why? Because in Porbandar you get a lot of water, but that is saltish water. So you must water the plant, you must pour love, but it must not be a saltish love. It must not be a selfish love. What we want is unselfish love. We must differentiate between the two types of love. That is why Swami Vivekananda says, you see, we are shopkeepers. We are shopkeepers in everyday life. We are shopkeepers in religion, and alas, we are shopkeepers also in love. And so, immediately we ask for the result. I have given you 10 kg of love. You must also give me 10 kg of love. It is slightly less, then I get furious. That means expectation brings misery. It is attachment which brings misery. Attachment is the source of all our misery. The true love is bereft of attachment. This is the difference between attachment and love. Love is unselfish. So what we want is not a saltish water. What we want is not a selfish love. We must have unselfish love if we want nurturing of the plant of relationship, irrespective of whatever type may be the type of relationship. If we keep these things, then the management of relationship will become very easy. Just one formula which has proved very successful in many places. One of our senior monks, he advised this. There were many people living in the same community. It was very difficult to get along with others, different types of temperaments. So then he asked how to manage. I am not able to manage. Then he gave a beautiful formula of going along with others in a community with varied types of temperaments, with various types of different types of views. He gave a beautiful formula. He said, in matters of principles, stand firm like a rock. In matters of principles, stand firm like a rock. In matters of opinion, swim simply with the current. Most of the time you will find it is the matter of opinion. 90% of the time, try to adjust with others. Don't go too much after the matters of opinion. But in matters of principles, no compromise. In matters of opinion, swim simply with the current. Get along with others nicely. Then you will have a harmonious relationship. And that has proved very successful. So I told a little bit about, you see, each and every subject that has been mentioned here requires separate treatment. But I am giving you just quickly some of the formulas because the time is coming to an end. Stress management, we know, is becoming very important, as I told you. And a lot of people are committing suicide. Many books are coming on suicide. A lot of people are becoming mad. they are going to mental hospital, psychiatric patients, and so in the work industry also, stress management is becoming important. But the Western models of stress management are not working. You know what is a Western psychologist says? You see why the stress comes up. You know why stress comes up, because you have certain desire, and if you don't allow the desire to be fulfilled, then that desire goes into your subconscious mind and creates tension. For example, you have gone to the office. Now your boss, he fires you indiscriminately. He fires you and insults you without any fault on your side. And so you become boiled and you want to pay back in the same coin. But you restrain yourself. Why? Because if you also pay back in the same coin, you will lose your job. So what to do? You don't express yourself, but those feelings of retort have gone inside your subconscious mind and they create trouble. And then you are full of tension and the stress builds up. So what to do? The Western psychology says, express yourself. Don't curb your feelings. My God, if I express myself, then I will lose the job. Then the psychologist says, okay, don't worry, we have got the alternative for you. Go to the market. Voodoo dolls are available. Voodoo dolls. D-double-O. Voodoo dolls are available, and along with various types of pins, bring them. Come to the house and close your room doors and windows, you close down. And keep the voodoo doll on the table. And write down the name of the person on whom you want to express your feelings. It may be your boss, it may be your mother-in-law, it may be your wife, like that. Because directly you can't say it. If you directly talk to your wife, she will sue you. So, write down the name of that person, and then there are pins available. There are black pins available for injuring. And go on pinching with the pins and become happy. Oh, I have taken the revenge. I could not at that time reply in the morning, but now I have done. And then there are blue pins available. If you want to injure seriously, then the blue pins are available. Go on pinching with the blue pins. You become so happy. And red pins are also available if you want to murder your wife or your boss. Just go on pinching with the pin and murder. So happy, my boss is gone. You become so happy and all your tension is relieved. But unfortunately, this is not a permanent solution, because next day morning again you see the boss is sitting on the chair. What to do? In your room you have killed him, but again he is sitting in the chair. What to do? So these are all not working. The Western models of stress management are not working. That is why now they are coming to meditation and yoga for permanent solution to stress management. Lot of companies, 5th of August 2003, Time magazine, front page, Hollywood actors meditated. Inside the story, the name of the story is Just Say Oh. And inside the story it is written, 10 billion Americans regularly meditating in America, not for God realization, for getting peace of mind, for stress management, for relaxation. Now, meditation and yoga have come a long way for giving solace and peace. So, regular meditation and prayer, regular meditation and yoga will help in stress management. So I have tried to give you questions to come. Yes. Please, because the time is very short, but let me answer at least a few questions, because otherwise they will feel why did you ask the questions. Beautiful question. How can one prepare oneself to engage in a full day's work without ending the day tired and with a headache? I am in an administrative position. You see, you are in an administrative position, you are going to have a headache, because it's a very difficult task. So you have to have a cool head. So most importantly, early morning you get up. If you can't get up early morning because of various reasons, I know the reasons. You also know the reasons. So if you cannot get up early in the morning because of various reasons, whenever time you get up, you try to meditate for some time. Just 5 to 10 minutes of relaxation. Have some nice reading of positive thoughts, powerful thoughts. and have a calm, quiet mind. Early morning, if you take a dose of a good meditation and powerful and very positive thoughts, whole day that undercurrent will go, and that will protect you from becoming angry. What happens when you become angry, the other person becomes double angry, then you become 4 times angry, then the other becomes 8 times angry, and it goes on, builds up. So you will be able to become tranquil. Even if somebody tells, you will be able to have a quiet and calm mind. Meditation helps. Thinking, good positive thoughts, good reading also helps. A calm balance in the mind. And then there are 2 or 3 formulas that will help you in stress management. Whether for this person, I am telling you a general formula for stress management. Do your best and leave the rest. LEAVE. Big formula you write down. Those who are having stress, do your best and leave the rest. If you are a student, try your best for examination. Don't bother about the result, it will come of itself by the simple law of karma. Don't bother about it. Don't be anxious about it. For business also, do your best, leave the rest. When you are having relationship with others, try your best to have a good relationship with others. If you cannot mend the matter, don't worry. Leave the rest to God. Do your best and leave the rest. You get, have peace. Relax. You are done your best. You can't do better than the best. Finish. Do your best, leave the rest to God. That is one formula. Second thing is, let the dogs bark. But don't tell them that they are dogs. Otherwise they will simply finish. The Hindi proverb is, हाथी चले बाजार में, कुत्ता भौंके हजार, साधुन को दुर्भाव नहीं, निंदे चाहे संसार. When an elephant goes, dogs start barking, but the elephant does not even look at them. Does not even look at them, doesn't care to look at them. He is going on his own way. Similarly, you go on your own way without waiting, without giving any attention to the criticism that is being poured on you. You know yourself analyze that I am on the right path. Now forget what the others are telling about you. Don't pay too much attention. Abraham Lincoln said, if I had to read all the letters of criticism that I received, not to talk of replying, only if I had to read, I would not do my president's job. Whole day will go only reading the letters of criticism. So just throw them into the waste paper basket directly. That is what Abraham Lincoln says. Another thing Abraham Lincoln used to do, you used to put a plate with a very nice message written on it, which will be very useful for stress management. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. If you are having a particular situation in which you are facing difficulty, don't worry. It is a temporary phenomenon. Not a single phenomenon is permanent. Holy Mother Sharda Devi, Sri Ramakrishna's consort. Swami Vivekananda's guru was Sri Ramakrishna, his wife was Sharda Devi. She gave a beautiful example. You know, difficulties in life are like water under the bridge. They come and they go. They come and they go. Good time will come, it will go. Bad time will come, it will also go. It is not permanent, it is temporary. This too shall pass. Abraham Lincoln says it helped me. When I am receiving too much of admiration, then this message helps me in not getting too much proud, because these too shall pass, bad days will come. So I don't become egoistic. And when bad days are there, again I remember, these too shall pass. Don't worry, this is a temporary phenomenon. Again good days will come. So keep this message, these too shall pass, number one. Second, let the dogs bark, but don't tell them that they are dogs. But you don't give any attention, as the elephant does not give to the dogs barking. Don't give too much attention to the criticism. And do your best and leave the rest. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Karmani vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phaletu gur ma te sangasta karmani. That is the message of Gita. Please explain the meaning of the word Vedanta. Well, Vedanta is the word has come from Vedas. In Hinduism, the basic scripture is Vedas. They are both, the Vedas have been categorized into 4 Vedas, into 4 parts: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda and Sam Veda. Now at the end of each and every Veda, there is the knowledge concerning the Supreme Self. In Veda, there you get so many other things. How to perform a particular yajna, what to do, you get about medical science also, all types of knowledge. Veda means knowledge. All types of knowledge is like encyclopedia. Given everything is knowledge is given in Sanskrit, in those, not even Sanskrit, in a language which was earlier than Sanskrit. In that primitive language that is the written. But at the end of each Vedas, there is the knowledge is concerning the Supreme Self, Atma Vidya. And that Vedanta means the end of Vedas. That Vedanta is what is called Upanishads, and this deals with the science of knowledge of the self. Other things is the science of success in everyday life, but this is the science of knowledge of the self. So that is called Vedanta. And as I told you, there are 2 fundamental principles of Vedanta: the divinity of the soul and solidarity of the whole universe. How does one deal with the betrayal? Beautiful question. When you are betrayed, let the dead bury its dead. Forget the past. Forget the past. Let the dead bury its dead. Somebody has betrayed you, now finish it off. Finish it off. You try to give whatever explanation you want to give and forget about it. But beware of not committing the same mistake so that you are betrayed again. Now you should be very careful. You should be very careful that you are not betrayed. Don't be a fool. Be a good person. Don't be a fool. Swami Nikhileswarananda used to say, it is good to be a good person, but not good to be a goody person. Don't be so goody that somebody will betray you or somebody will deceive you. No. You should be tactful. So that, of course, you should not do harm to others. At the same time, don't allow anybody else to harm you. So Sri Ramakrishna used to give a beautiful story of the serpent. You may not bite, but hissing must be there. Hissing should be there so that somebody does not harm you, somebody does not betray you, somebody does not deceive you. So be careful. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, be a devotee, don't be a fool. Bhakta hobi to hobi, boka hobi cannot. You may be a devotee, but don't be a fool. Don't let others betray you. But once you have been betrayed, enough. Experience. Now don't get betrayed by others. But this you forget. You explain the whole thing to that person and forget. Don't give too much attention and don't be too much morals about it. This happens. Every day it happens. This is the world. Most of the people will be betrayed. It is our fault that we went on believing everybody. Most of the people believe in betraying others. So we should be very careful that we are not betrayed. How do we remove ourselves from the entrapment of daily lives for spiritual upliftment? Well, this is a very good question. Don't try to get yourself away from daily life. No. This is the great message of Vedanta and Upanishads and Gita. Do your all work with full sincerity. You are not told to give up your work, but convert work into worship. Convert work into worship. Don't give up work. Do the work as if with full concentration, with full efficiency. And then convert that into spiritual practice. But of course, it must be backed up by some spiritual practices in the morning and the evening. And so I tell them how to get spiritual practices well done. Well, I tell them about sandwich sadhana. Sandwich, the ladies sitting here, they know how to prepare sandwich. So first they take a piece of bread and then they put some masala, some ingredients on it. It may be anything, it may be cheese, anything, it may be some cucumbers, so many things. They put on them, go on putting them. And then put another piece of bread, and that is a sandwich prepared. So, early in the morning, if not early in the morning, whenever you get up, have a little bit of meditation, little bit of prayer, and good reading of the books. Very nice books. Some books are available in the bookshop. You see beautiful books. Read those books. That will make your mind attuned to spiritual practices. And infuse your mind with those divine thoughts. This is one piece of bread. Now, whole day, whatever work you are doing is the masala. Go on putting that. And at night and morning when you get up and start working, say, "Oh Lord, whatever work I am doing is dedicated unto you, and the fruits also dedicated unto you." That is one piece of bread. Now, whatever work you are doing, put on that masala. And last, at night, while going to bed, say, "Oh Lord, whatever work I have done, that whole work I am dedicated unto you, dedicating to you, and the fruit also I am dedicated unto you." That is another piece of bread. Sandwich is prepared. This is sandwich style, spiritual sandwich. And of course, you can have, this is a big sandwich, you can prepare small sandwiches also. For example, when you go to office, at the time of office, "Oh Lord, I will be going to the office, whatever work I will do in the office, I am dedicated unto you. And after coming back to the office, "Oh Lord, whatever I have done, good or bad, I have tried to do my best. Now, everything dedicated unto you. The fruits also dedicated unto you, and the work also dedicated unto you." Small sandwiches also you can prepare. So likewise, you can convert work into worship. You did not give up your work in order to have spiritual practices. Rather, try to convert work into worship. If one is suicidal, is it because of our past samskaras? No. One becomes suicidal because of negative thinking. And this negative thinking has to be avoided. Anybody who is trying to commit suicide, number one, why does he want to commit suicide? Because the basic reason is everybody wants happiness and peace. When happiness and peace comes to zero level, he or she wants to commit suicide. At that time, what is needed is number one, patience. Patience. Wait, these two shall pass. This situation that you are seeing, when there is zero level happiness, zero level peace, will also go away. And the better days will come. Wait for some time. Patience is required. And number two, by committing suicide, you are having a reverse journey. The purpose of life is to manifest the divinity. Before you die, you must become immortal. If you die without knowledge of the self as a human being, you are going to go to a reverse journey. It is not going to stop. And by the law of karma, you are going to suffer more. If a person understands that by committing suicide, why he wants to commit suicide? Because he thinks by committing suicide, he will get rid of all the problems that he is facing. But that is not the solution. All the problems will come with multiplied effect and with compound interest in the next life. That is what the Vedanta says. That is what the Hinduism says. That if you die, particularly if one commits suicide, he or she becomes in a fine form, remains in a ghost form for some few days or some time and suffers more, and then again takes up. For example, if you are committing suicide because your mother-in-law is oppressing you, and if you commit suicide, what will happen? You will be in a ghost form, suicide. After some time, when you have suffered so much, again you come to human being, again next birth, she will be the mother-in-law, you will be the daughter-in-law, the same situation will come, and start from that square one. So that is why we cannot escape the law of karma. So one should have positive attitude. Face the struggle boldly. The Gita says, struggle will be there, but face it boldly. This battlefield of life, fight, fight, fight. Ma manusmara yuddhacha. Remember me and fight, Arjuna. That is the message of Gita. Fight. In this battlefield of life, there will be many problems. Face them boldly. Swami Vivekananda was asked by Maharaja Khetri, he was his disciple, Maharaja Khetri, Ajit Singh Ji, "Swamiji, what is life?" Swamiji instantly replied, "My dear prince, life is nothing but the struggle of a being under the circumstances trying to press it down. Nothing but struggle. Face it boldly." So, another formula I am giving you for stress management, face the bruise. Face the bruise. Remember the story. Swami Vivekananda, this is a real story. Swami Vivekananda was in India, he was traveling all over the country. He came to Benares. And then he was passing through after darshan of Durga Devi temple is there, still there, Durga Devi temple. After Durga Devi temple, he was going from there on his path. On one side there is pond, even now there is a pond, big lake, and on second side there is big wall, compound wall. So he was going along path. Suddenly, few monkeys started chasing him, black monkeys, big, ferocious monkeys. They started chasing him. So Swami Vivekananda started running, and the monkeys started running after him. After some time, Swamiji became exhausted. What to do? On one side there is a lake, another side big compound wall. Where to go? So he was in trouble. At that time he heard an old monk shouting at him, "Hey! Don't be afraid. Face the brutes, face the monkeys." As soon as he heard this voice, he immediately turned like this. As soon as he turned like this, all the monkeys fled away. Then in his lecture in New York, he said, "That day I learned one of the greatest lessons of my life. That is, face the brutes. Face the difficulties of life. If you become afraid, the difficulties of life will chase you. But if you face the difficulties of life boldly, difficulties will run." So that is the message, face the brutes. Now, already my time is over. There are many beautiful questions waiting for me to reply. But anyway, now the time is short. What I will say, after this there will be dinner for all of them. So I will be here. They can individually ask me this question. Those who I am very sorry I couldn't reply because of shortage of time. But they can ask me the question, or my address will be here. You can afterwards write to me. I will reply the questions. Or Swami Sharananda is here to reply. He is in South Africa. He will be there to reply. So I am very happy to have met you. It was a great pleasure to talk to an enlightened audience like you, and I have tried my best to give you some of the hints on how to manage everyday life in the background of Vedantic philosophy. I don't know how the message has gone through, but anyway, I feel blessed because it was a great opportunity for me to serve the divine in all of you. So I feel blessed. Thank you very much.